What happens when a calm, polished politician suddenly finds himself cornered by one of Britain's most unapologetic and controversial voices? Tonight, we dive into a live TV clash that stunned viewers across the nation. Keir Starmer loses it after Katie Hopkins exposes him in a brutal confrontation that no one saw coming. It all began on what was supposed to be a routine political panel show. Keir Starmer, known for his measured, lawyerly tone, was prepared to defend Labour's policies on law and order, immigration, and national security. He expected tough questions, yes, but what he didn't expect was Katie Hopkins. She entered the studio like a storm, unfiltered, unapologetic, and armed with a dossier of claims that she insisted would reveal what Starmer really stood for. At first, the exchange was civil. Starmer laid out his case with his usual precision, talking about fairness, equality, and opportunity. But Katie cut in, her voice sharp, her words aimed like arrows. She accused Starmer of hypocrisy, pointing to his past legal work defending extremists, questioning his record as Director of Public Prosecutions, and suggesting that behind the polished speeches was a man afraid to face uncomfortable truths. The tension was electric. Starmer shifted in his seat, visibly irritated. The audience, silent at first, began to murmur. Katie pressed harder, holding up papers, quoting past cases, and claiming that the Labour leader was deliberately hiding key parts of his record. Starmer fired back, calling her accusations baseless, nonsense meant to stir division. But in that moment, his voice cracked, not with weakness, but with frustration. It was clear, Katie Hopkins had struck a nerve. Then came the turning point. Hopkins accused Starmer of double standards, lecturing the public on morality while quietly turning a blind eye to policies that, she claimed, had failed the very people Labour was supposed to represent. She cited rising crime, immigration controversies, and Labour's internal scandals. The studio felt less like a debate stage and more like a courtroom, and Starmer was on trial. What happened next shocked even the moderator. Starmer, usually unflappable, raised his voice. He called Hopkins dangerous, someone who thrived on division and fear. His words were fierce, his tone louder than the calm, careful leader viewers had come to expect. But to many watching, it didn't look like strength, it looked like he had been rattled, forced off script. Hopkins smirked, leaned back in her chair, and delivered one last blow. If the man who wants to lead Britain can't even handle a few home truths on live TV, how on earth is he going to handle running the country? The room erupted. Some applauded Starmer's passion, others gasped at Hopkins' audacity. Social media exploded within seconds, clips of the clash went viral, with hashtags like #StarmerExposed and #Hopkins vs Starmer dominating Twitter trends. For his supporters, Starmer was standing up to a provocateur. For his critics, it was the moment the mask slipped, revealing a man struggling to hold his composure under fire. And here's the question that lingers, was this simply a heated TV exchange, or was it something deeper? Did Katie Hopkins expose a weakness in Keir Starmer that could haunt him on the road to number 10, or did she only give him the chance to show his fight, his passion, and his refusal to back down? One thing is certain, this was not just another political debate. It was a moment of raw confrontation, one that forced viewers to ask, when the spotlight burns brightest, who truly has the strength to lead Britain?